it's to your liking. And,
It is now.
You mean it wasn't before?
Nope, you gotta start over.
Really?
Yeah. When you mentioned that, I thought, oh, I better check.
Okay, if you were here earlier before the video stream started going live, you would have heard me say, we're glad you're here. We're in chapter 10 of the book of Job, and the not ready for primetime players are going to be acting out their roles again tonight. And did I miss anything? But I hope you're following along. I hope you're getting as much out of it as we are by hearing the different voices and kind of getting a different feel for just who his friends were and a feeling of how strong Job's faith is. I mean, he's dejected, but he's still his faith is still strong. So he's showing us a wonderful lesson. So we're in chapter 10. Let's pray. Most loving God, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us, a day that you have made. We give thanks for this day. We give thanks that we are in your house this evening to read and study your word. Help us as we go through this to hear the voices of Job and his friends, that we can learn from this and grow stronger through this. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right, chapter 10. Who's the reader? Job.
I hate my life, so I will unload the full weight of my grievance against God. Let me speak and reveal the bitterness I am harboring. I will say to God, don't find me guilty. Just explain the charges you have against me. Does it please you to oppress, and is this why you spurn me? The work of your hands, and yet your smile shines down upon the plots of the wicked. Do you have human eyes so that your outlook is short? Do you see through human frailties? Are your days like mortals' limited days? Are your years like mortals' limited years? Is this why you seek out my faults, or you go in search of my error? You know well that I am not guilty, yet nothing can free me from your overwhelming power. Your hands formed and made me whole, yet now you turn to crush. Recall how you molded me like clay, and will now render me back to dust. Didn't you pour me out like milk and curdle me like cheese? Didn't you clothe me in skin and flesh, weave my bone and snood together? Your care has saved my spirit, and you have given me life and loyalty. Yet I know what is in you, what your heart has always hidden. If I sin, you will see it, watching over it ever so closely. And you do not acquit me of my guilt. If I am wicked, woe is me. Even if I am innocent, I cannot take a chance above my head, because I'm gorged with disgrace. Gaze on my misery. If I do raise my head, then like a lion you hunt me. Like a night sky turned threatening, you unfold your power against me, so that others marvel. Like a prosecutor, you drag in witnesses against me. You escalate your fury against me, coming in waves to pound on me. So then, why did you bother to drag me out of the womb at all? I should have just died before any eye could see me. It should have been as though I had never been, plucked from the womb, carried to the tomb. Aren't my days almost finished anyway? Stand back, leave me alone, and let me have a scrap of comfort. Before I go to the place from which I won't return, to the land of utter darkness and still shadows, the land of deep, unending night, of blackness and shadowy chaos, where the only illumination is more darkness.
Thank you, Job. Yet another marvelous performance. Did you catch what Job said in verse 2? He's practicing. He's rehearsing this speech. Kind of reminds you of the prodigal son when he was rehearsing what he was going to say to his father when he arrived home. But he said, I will say, So he is becoming his own defense, because they do mention a prosecutor later on. But he's rehearsing this in his head. He's sitting there listening to his friends just rattle on. So this is how well thought out his part is. So all of this is in his head. I will say to God, don't find me guilty. So I just thought that was an interesting little piece to. He's not saying this out loud. All right, chapter. Any comments? Any questions?
There was a place there, I can't find it now, but it was almost like he was, I don't know, against God or something like that. And the whole thing was that the devil had to bet with him that he would put him through this and he would turn against God.
That he has not. He's asking the question is, why did you even allow me to be born if I'm going to go through all this? He never in the whole book, hate to be a spoiler here, never in the whole book does he contemplate suicide. All he's asking is, why did you bring me into this just to face this hardship that I'm going through? And it is I like the land of deep, unending night, blackness and shadowy chaos, where the only illumination is more darkness. So he paints a very vivid picture of just his mood and his feelings at this time. But no time does he will not curse God. Remember, his wife said, "Why don't you just curse God? Nah, let's get this over with." But he refuses to do that. His faith is carrying him, but there's some weaknesses in that. And he's through each of these trials and each of this advice that he's getting. You see him growing stronger, and you see how he's contemplating this. And so in 12, he's going to fire back at his friends. So, chapter 11.
Finally, Job's third friend, Zophar the Naamathite, spoke to Job.
Shall such a great volume of words remain unanswered, and a long-winded man be so easily acquitted? Shall your empty prattle silence people, and when you mock, shall no one shame you? You have told us, I have a clear understanding of things, and I am innocent in your eyes, O Lord. But I wish God would speak, that he would address you openly, so I will argue for him. I wish he would show you the secrets of great wisdom, for the two sides of sound wisdom are found in his mercy and justice. Know this, God forgets some of your guilt. Can you see to the inside of God, or explore the limits of the highest one's knowledge? Higher than the heavens, what can you do to reach it? Deeper than the realm of the dead, what can you know of it? Its farthest reaches exceed the ends of the earth. Its breadth spans far beyond the sea. If he passes by, as is his routine, and throws you into prison and calls you to testify about what you've done, who can challenge him? He recognizes worthless people without integrity. So do you really think when he sees wrongdoing, he doesn't examine it? As they say, an empty-headed will become clever in the day of the colt of a wild donkey is born human. If you will focus your attentions in his direction, open your hands and reach for him where you have guilt on your hands. If you will send it far away and not tolerate sin in your tents, then you will lift up a clean face clean of all stains. You will hold your head high, secure and free of fear. You will forget all these troubles of yours, and they will pass beneath your memory like a drop of water that has just flowed away. Life will become brighter than a high noon, and darkness will give way to morning. Once again, you'll trust in the presence of hope. You'll scan the horizon and sleep safely. You will lie down and no one will terrorize you, and many will long to be in your good graces. But the eyes of the wicked will grow dark as they lose hope. They will find no escape, and in despair they'll long only to breathe their last dying breath.
Any hope in that?
Not yet.
He's not offered him, but none of his friends have offered him any hope of anything. But he, Zophar kind of mocks God a little bit too. Zophar is going against, he's trying to get Job to admit to his viewpoints, to go along with what he says. So he's calling what Job's saying, these are idle words. Your words have no meaning. They have nothing, no impact with us. So I like how he says he recognizes worthless people without integrity. So do you really think he sees wrongdoing? He doesn't examine it. When he sees wrongdoing, he doesn't examine it. So I don't know what he's saying. Well, I kind of know what he's saying. An empty-headed will become clever in the day the colt of a wild dog is born to you. But I think I know what he's saying there.
When pigs fly.
Yeah, when pigs fly, and he might be calling somebody something else. But he's just telling him that just go ahead and admit you're not the person you say you are, and all of this will pass, and you'll be better off. But again, we don't need friends like that. So, any other comments, questions? Job is getting ready to have a retort, if you will. He's going to let his friends know how he feels. He's going to let them know. I think he's just going to let them know they don't know what they're talking about because they haven't experienced or even know what he's going through or have any idea or even care to have any idea what he's going through. They're just attacking Job's character. If you were so good, then this shouldn't be happening. We doing okay right here? All right, chapter 12.
Throughout the book, Job has very little to cling to besides a hope for the end of his current suffering. Each of his three friends expounds on hope, drawing three similar but increasingly brutal conclusions. Eliphaz realizes Job is basically a righteous man, so he encourages Job to take hope in the person he already is. Somehow his own righteousness will manage to save him. Bildad adds to Eliphaz's conclusion, claiming that wicked men cannot hope. They are left with only despair. Zophar, the most unabashedly honest of the three men, believe hope exists only for the righteous. And since Job is obviously a sinful man, he is hopeless until he changes. Fortunately, all three wise men are ultimately wrong. Hope is a product of trusting God and is not based on anyone's actions, wicked or otherwise.
Surely, surely, my discerning friends, you are the ones. And when you pass away, the sum total of all wisdom will perish from the earth. I have a mind as good as yours. Don't think I'm so far beneath you. After all, who doesn't know all about these things? Who isn't acquainted with the pedestrian platitudes you've trotted out? As for me, the one who called upon God and whom God answered, now I am pitiful, laughable, a just and upright joke. Those who have it easy may easily scorn the unfortunate. They have their contempt already prepared for those whose feet slip. Ironically, there is peace inside the tents of the raiders, and those who upset God seem to live safe and secure. They carry their gods around in their hands. However, call upon the animals to teach you. The birds that sail through the air are not afraid to tell you the truth. Engage the earth in conversation. It's happy to share what it knows. Even the fish of the sea are wise enough to explain it to you. In fact, which part of creation isn't aware? Which doesn't know the Eternal's hand has done this? His hand cradles the life of every creature on the face of the earth. His breath fills the nostrils of humans everywhere. Listen, aren't we made to be discriminating? Our ears testing wisdom, our mouths tasting food.
Shouldn't wisdom come with old age? Not necessarily. Only God has wisdom. We merely fool ourselves into thinking we are wise.
But you tell me with age comes wisdom, and a long life grants understanding. With God is the sum total of all wisdom and of all power, his greatest of plans and deepest of comprehensions. So then, what God tears down cannot be built back up. The man he shuts up cannot be released. If God withholds the rains and stops the streams from flowing, the earth suffers drought. If he unleashes too much, the lands are ravaged by flood. He is strong, and the sound wisdom belongs to him. Whether one deceives or is deceived, he is under God's control. He leads the counselors off as captives, barefoot and stripped. He makes a mockery of judges. He strips off the holy sashes of kings and ties them at the waist, making them slaves as well. He leads the priest away barefoot and defeats the long incumbent men of power. He robs trusted advisors of speech. He steals discretion from elders. He heaps contempt on rulers and loosens the bind of alliances among world powers. Aspects of his deep wisdom that were hidden away, he shows in plain sight. Darkness is brought into light. He builds the strength of nations only to crush them, increases their populations across the earth only to scatter them again. He divests each nation's leaders of understanding and causes them to wander aimlessly with nowhere to go. Until finally they grope in the dark, the light having departed, and he lets them stumble and stagger like birds.
Thank you again, Job. The love, when you pass away, the sum total of all wisdom will perish from the earth.
Yeah, buddy. We're going to be in deep doo.
Yeah. The three smartest men ever to draw breath are there with him.
I like the pedestrian platitudes statement. That's funny.
Is verse 23 of a foreshadowing of the scattering of the people of Israel?
Yes, it's, well, throughout all of Eastern Asia Minor, there's a diaspora, and even in parts of the northernmost Africa, there's the same holds true. Who is it? Was it John or James that talked to the diaspora, the Jewish families that had been scattered and finally come back? So he's alluding to this, but this is the way it was, and he's talking about when countries invaded one, and to the winter goes the spoils, and part of the spoils were the people that they captured, and so they took their shoes so they couldn't run very far, stripped them down. They even talked about the kings, and just think about when Jesus was standing trial, they stripped his robe, stripped his outer garments down so they could beat him. It's the same principle, and same, they're alluding to the same treatment of people. So, yeah, the dispersion happens all throughout the Old Testament. And if you see him coming back into parts of the New Testament. All right, thank you. So 13.
Look, I've seen it all with my eyes, heard and understood it with my ears. What you know, I know too. Don't think I am so far beneath you. Let our differences be clear. I am ready to speak to the highest one, eagerly wanting to argue my case with God. But you smear me with lies as if to help, but as healers, you are worthless. What that you were totally silent, at least that would make you seem wise. Please just listen while I reason this out. Lean in and hear my lips, how my lips plead. Will you try to defend God's cause by telling lies, be deceitful on his behalf? Will you show partiality for him, argue on his behalf? How would you fare if he searched your soul? Do you think you might deceive him as you would any other person? No. He would bring charges against you, even if you secretly show partiality. Aren't you horrified at the weight of his majesty? Isn't the dread of him enough to drop you where you stand? All your quoted proverbs turn to ash. Your clever comebacks crumble like brittle towers of clay.
Job will take his chances before God. He still trusts him, even if God chooses to take his life.
So keep your mouth shut around me and let me speak to God. And whatever may come, let it come. Why should I lay my body at the mercy of the words of my own mouth, or risk my life with only my own hands to defend me? Look, he may well kill me, but I will hope in him. Still, I will be ready to argue my case before your very face. In fact, this will become my salvation. For the godless wouldn't even dare to approach him. So then here's my account. Listen carefully. Give me a chance to share my side of the story with you. My case is prepared and I am confident I will be found righteous. And yet, who will meet me in court to argue the other side? If I am out-argued, then I will stay mute until I die. Lord, I ask only two concessions in this case. If you grant them, I will not hide from your face. First, remove your damaging hand from me. Second, don't intimidate me anymore with your terrifying presence. Then send me your summons and I will reply. Or better yet, I will speak first and then you answer me. How many counts do you have against me? How many sins must I account for? Spell out the nature of your indictment against my rebellious ways. Why do you hide your face from me? Why is my name now nemesis to you? Would you waste your energy to terrify a wind-blown leaf or chase down the dry shaft as it tumbles in the breeze? For I see bitter accusations against me written in your own hand. You call me to account for the guilt of my youth. You fasten shackles at my ankles, but still keep close watch on where I walk, marking the places where my feet may plant themselves. This is how a person wastes away to nothing, like something rotten, like moth-eaten clothing.
I put that little footnote at the bottom of verse 24 where you, why is my name now nemesis to you? In the Hebrew Bible is, why is my name Job now enemy to you? So in our translations, it's name and nemesis. So he's getting rather emboldened here, and the next chapter we'll do next week. He kind of changes his tune a little bit. He gets a little melancholy. Some of his speech isn't as confident as it was in the earlier, as he prepped for his case, and as he talked to his friends when he goes to God. He's not as he's confident, but yet he's not as demanding. He talks about the brevity of years. So, and we'll get to that. All right. Well, any comments?
Is Job, does he feel like he's being tested by God?
He, still, he's not sure what's going on.
Yeah, he even thinks God is doing this,
Yeah.
and God isn't. He's just allowing the adversary to do it.
Yeah. And Job has yet to respond. There is a movie that to me plays on the story of Job, and that's Trading Places. And if you've ever seen the movie, and I know one here has,
Eddie Murphy.
yeah, with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, they took everything away. That was the bet that the brothers had when they bet $1 that they could make something out of a nobody and make a nobody out of somebody who was in power. But wasn't quite the same, but it's just the adversary is saying, I could get him to curse your name. I could get him to doubt you. I could get him to just not want anything to do with you. But Job shows the strength that we should have. I had a quote that I shared with JD the other day, and it kind of applies to Job's friends, and sometimes if we're not careful, it can apply to us. It's but is it the tears of a stranger? The tears of a stranger to maybe to someone who doesn't care is only water. Meaning it has no impact. We don't care about them. We don't. They're sad. Well, if we could be like Job's friend, something must have happened. He must have. I know you did something. In your family, maybe when you were growing up, you shouldn't have taken that pack of gum. You shouldn't have grabbed that 10-cent comic book and stuck it in your jacket. Or were they a nickel? I remember when they were a dime. I remember when they went to 12 cents, all price 12 cents. And then the 25-cent, the thick one. Whew. Had to cut some grass to get that. Well, I thank you for joining us. I hope again that you followed along. If you have any questions, any comments, please post them on this YouTube feed, or just go on our Facebook page and post them. You can do it as a private message if you like. But we will get back to you, I promise. So again, just thanks again for coming. We would love to see you here with us. We would love even more to have you joining us on Sunday morning here at 9:30. So again, thank you. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you soon.